I think I've pretty much got this fashion thing nailed down because, like, first of all, these colors, I do think they actually go together pretty good. But you know what I really got going? Yeah, check this out. So this jacket doesn't have a hood. No, it's just got a collar, which is pretty dope, I would say. But this shirt, yeah, this shirt has a hood, so I'm pretty much set. This jacket is very loud when I move, so I should probably take it off. But check it out though, because it's the jacket for the cosplay that I'm gonna be talking about. So maybe I should keep it on just because it fits. No, the chair being squeaky is okay. Why did it not squeak the one time I want it to? The chair being squeaky. I swear it's a squeaky chair. I've had issues with it so much. I'm not. Oh, see? There it is. The chair being squeaky is bad enough. I'm not also gonna wear a jacket that makes noises when I move. Anyways, hello. I'm super excited today. I'm gonna be going over the process I went through and everything I did right and wrong on my, I don't know what they're called, actually. They're like bracers, maybe? For my Tracer cosplay, the thing on her arm that sticks out a lot. So, I'm gonna use the finished product to explain what I did because I think that's good, right? That's like a way to do that. That's, yeah. Yeah. Rather than just try to explain it in words, I'm gonna like, yeah. Okay, so this is the finished product, just to give you that visual nice and the whole thing. All of it? Yep. Well, no. All of it. Yeah, no, uh-huh. I know. Okay, yeah. So, anyways, this is it. It's probably not in focus where I'm holding it, but hopefully I'm in focus. Okay, so I have been putting off this project for a lot longer than I would like to admit for a couple of reasons, but specifically because it's such an odd shape, I just didn't really know where to start. I am a bit of a perfectionist, and so I tried to sketch out the process that I would go through and the pieces I would make. I tried to sketch it out multiple times to have some kind of game plan going into it. And so I kept trying. I really tried to do it on paper first. And then finally I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try really hard to suppress the perfectionist in me and I'm just gonna do it. Not really gonna go in with a game plan. I'm literally just going to do it and hope for the best. I just hit the table. So what I did was I did it. No, what I decided to try, I've never tried this before, but I was like, this seems like it would probably be a good idea, and I think it was a good idea, and I will probably continue to use this idea in the future. I took just like some paper that I have and I like taped it together so it was big, and then I just took that and I messed around with it on my arm until I had something that seemed okay. And then I took that, cut it up into parts, and then used those parts and traced them on the craft foam and then attached them accordingly. Did that make sense? I think that made sense. So I basically just messed around with paper to construct the thing, and then I deconstructed it to create a pattern, and then I used the pattern to make it out of craft foam. I think I explained that pretty well, actually, so I'm gonna take it. So after I did that, I pretty much made the first bad choice I could have. And then I continued to make that choice for the rest of the project. What I did was I decided to attach the base pieces with blue painter's tape. It seemed like a good idea at the time for some reason. You know, I'd left it. I didn't use something else to attach them and then take the tape off. I left the tape. I left it because I used filler primer after I had it all together, and I was like, that should level out the tape fine so it is flat. And it didn't. It didn't. You can still tell that there's tape there. So after I taped the base together, I cut out all of the other little pieces and just attached them until it looked more like what it's supposed to. And that went well. What I would change, I would say, for the future, so just so you guys know, I definitely should have done Mod Podge and paint for like that uniform base color. I should have done that before putting it all together. I say that because people might see in here and go, that's green. Because it was just really hard to get the spray paint or the paintbrush in there appropriately to cover that after I attached it all. So I should have thought that part through a little bit better, but I didn't, so here we are. I'll probably figure something out at some point. So yeah, so I attached all the pieces together, and then I just did. I did. I don't know. I probably did 6 or 7 layers of Mod Podge. The problem is our Mod Podge is really old, so it's kind of lumpy. So I mixed it with water to try and like help it be more uniform and get out any like lumps better. So I did that, and then I just did a bunch more layers of it so that it would hopefully amount to a couple layers of just plain Mod Podge. And then I spray painted it, and it cracked really bad and it didn't work. So I did another layer of just actual Mod Podge. I didn't add any water or anything. I did another layer or 2 of that, and then I spray painted it with the filler primer again, and it did a lot better that time. I use a sandable filler primer, so I had thought about letting it dry and then sanding out all of the cracks and stuff. But then I started thinking about the overall look of Tracer's design, and it's very beaten up, I would say is a good term for it. Like, the white isn't white anymore, it's got like brown spots on it and stuff. And I was like, it could just be me being lazy and not wanting to go through the effort of making it smooth. However, that little like cracks and imperfections could help make it look good for the purpose of this cosplay in particular. So I left it, and then I moved on. So after I sprayed it the second time with the filler primer, I didn't have white spray paint. Cool, right? Because the whole thing is white. Okay, so I did knock over my camera, so the framing might be a little bit different now. Just ignore it. I caught the camera, and that's all that matters. Okay, so it would be fine that I had to do it all by hand, except that this is all the white paint that we have, and it was already like, I don't know, low. Not like low, but like it wasn't full. And now there's only about this much left, so I did use like half the bottle, which is fine. The point is that I had to do it by hand, and initially what I had done was I just, took a paintbrush and then painted the white on because that's how that works. And then I did a layer with like one of those sponge brushes. I never realized how nice they are until now because I've never like used them before voluntarily. I feel like as a kid, those were the only brushes I was allowed to use, I guess because they're cheap. And anyways, this was more or less one of the first times I actually used one of those brushes voluntarily, and I enjoyed it. It let me just kind of like dab the white paint everywhere, which helped, I think, make it look more like it's white instead of brush strokes, because it bothers me when you can like see the brush strokes. It also helped a lot with like the splotches that I did. And then after I did that, and it was basically like there wasn't really anything left on the brush, I just took that brush with not much on it and just kind of like went like and like I can't think of there, and there's probably a term for it. I don't know, like dry brush it, because the brush isn't like wet with paint. It's just kind of got like paint that's drying on it now, and there's not a lot left. And I just kind of went along to get it to just have little streaks all over it to help really tie it all together. I was really hoping that with all the layers of Mod Podge and filler primer that I had used, that it would be like solid, and it's definitely like holding its shape really nicely, and like I feel like I can like hit it a bit more, and it's not gonna like bend super, like it's not gonna like totally bend and break as easy, which is nice. I like that it has that durability. I was hoping it would be a lot stiffer than it is though. I still can like press it. I don't know how to hold it. I don't like that squishy thing. But my sister gave me a tip that apparently what she normally does is she'll hit it with a heat gun to help, like, apparently that helps it close the holes. I don't really know entirely. I'll have to try it next time because somehow every time she makes stuff with craft foam, it ends up like hard. This is how it looks. Something that it took me a moment to figure out, because initially it was just a tube, and I was like, ah yes, tube arm, go. But then I realized something. You may have noticed it with all of my showing it around, but it's got like a cutout here, and that is so that I can bend my arm at least like a little bit. And if I like scooch it down, I can bend my arm fully, and my elbow like sticks out a little bit. But so like that way I can if I have to. I might expand the hole a little bit just so I don't have to like pop it down to bend all the way. I don't know yet. I'm not sure yet. Anyways, I think I talked kind of fast. I'm pretty sure I covered everything that I did though. For now, I have this, and I'm not complaining per se. I have a couple complaints about it. I think I'm allowed to complain because I made it. But aside from those minor complaints, overall I am pretty happy with it. I don't think I missed really anything in terms of how it looks generally. It's far from perfect. It's very far from perfect, but I'm happy to have it. And I'm happy to have 2 of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you around. Did you know that 1% of the people who subscribe to me don't regret it later? That means if you subscribe, you could be part of the majority.